So you learned in the last slide that when an atom is electrically neutral, it'll have the same number of protons and electrons. And I wanted to use this video to show you exactly what that means. So right behind me here, I have a helium atom. And for this, I just want you to focus on the protons and the electrons. So the protons are shown in blue, and protons are positively charged, and the electrons are shown on the outside here. They're green, and they're swirling around the outside. There are 2 electrons in this helium atom, okay? These red dots here represent neutrons. Neutrons are neutrally charged. They don't have a plus or a minus charge. They're neutral. There is no charge, okay? So for the overall charge of this atom, we'll just focus on the charged particles here. So first off, you'll notice that helium has 2 protons, and protons are positively charged. All right? So what that means is that we have a +2. Okay? That represents the 2 positively charged protons. Now swirling around the outside here, we have 2 electrons. You know that the charge of electrons is negative, and there's 2 of them, so you write -2. Okay? So let's look at the math here. Now typically when a number is positive, you don't write the positive in front of it, so I'll just erase that. It's still a +2 without that plus in front of it. All right, so what do we have here? We have a 2 minus 2, which gives us an overall charge of 0. No charge, okay? 0 charge. That's what's meant when we say that an atom is electrically neutral. We mean that it doesn't have a charge. Okay, so this atom is electrically neutral. And that's what's meant by the last slide. But what if an atom is charged? How does an atom become charged? Well, let's take a look at this situation here. So I'm going to erase this. And let's act like this atom loses an electron. I'll erase the electron here, and I'll put my line back in. Okay, so now let's look at the charged particles. We're going to look at the protons and the electrons. Remember, we don't look at these red dots because they're neutral. That doesn't count as part of the equation. We're only looking at the protons and the electrons. So we have a +2 for our protons. There are 2 protons. They're positively charged. And now we have only 1 electron. 1 electron here, giving us a -1 charge. All right, when you do the math here, I'll get rid of this positive to make it look more like a typical math problem. We have 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 gives us an overall charge of 1. Okay? So we say that this helium is now a ion. You call it an ion, and we say it has a +1 charge. +1 charge. It is a positively charged atom now. And this makes it attractive to other atoms now that it has that charge. It's no longer neutral. Okay? So that's what we mean when we're talking about charge. We're talking about the number of protons and the electrons within an atom and the charge or lack thereof that situation provides. All right, go ahead and go to the next slide.